Darlington, South Carolina. Scene today of the Southern 500, where 44 of the world's fastest stock cars will be racing here 364 laps for 500 miles. The gates were open to the fans yesterday, and the fans spent the night here camping out, and most of them have been up since sunup this morning, hammering and pounding and getting their scaffolding ready, trying to get the best seat in the house. Takes a lot of ingenuity in order to do that, too. As far as this race is concerned, this is the first stock car race since April when the Ford factory team pulled out of racing in a dispute over its overhead cam engine. Now, that engine has been approved for next season, so Ford is back, and it should be quite a race here today between the Fords and the Plymouths and many of the other cars that are lined up here on the track ready for the pace lap to begin. Working with us today, as usual, the editor of the National Speed Sport News, Chris Economaki, who will be covering the pit area, and we're very pleased to have back Roger Ward, one of the all-time great racing drivers who'll be roving around picking up stories for us. So let's go down to Chris.
Thanks, Bill. Well, here we are in the pits again at Darlington, where it all started 16 years ago. The Southern 500, granddaddy of them all. 44 cars online, ready to go for 364 trips around this 1 3/8 mile banked asphalt oval for the largest purse in the track's history, some $90,000. Working with us again is two-time Indianapolis winner Roger Ward. Roger is a former driver. You know what these fellows are up against today.
Well, I certainly do, Chris. Actually, this is one of the most demanding tracks, and the fact that it's extremely hot is going to work a real hardship on the drivers.
What does heat do to a driver?
Well, most of all, it will wear him out mentally. And, of course, at these speeds, if a guy lets down just a moment, he could be in serious trouble.
We'll be interested in hearing your comments as the race progresses with Bill Fleming, topside.
Okay, thanks very much, gentlemen. Here's Leroy Yarborough, who'll be in a 66 Dodge today. He is the winner of the pole position. He chose the outside pole today and qualified at 140 miles an hour. Next to him, Richard Petty.
We saw you on Wide World of Sports at the Firecracker 400 have trouble. Are you going to drive the same kind of a race, foot to the floor all the way?
Well, I doubt it, because I think there's a lot of them running a lot closer this time than there was last time, so I'm going to have to sort of run the way they run. Last time I could run wide open. I don't think I can this time.
Here's Kurt Turner, a veteran campaigner who won the race 10 years ago. Today's in a 66 Ford. Davey Pearson, current leader in the NASCAR circuit. James Hilton, a mechanic-turned-driver, currently in second place in the standings. Darrell Derringer, climbing through the window of his 66 Comet. The doors, of course, are welded shut. There are others in the field, too. Here's Paul Goldsmith, driving car number 99, a 66 Plymouth. And driving car number 43, that blue Plymouth, will be Richard Petty, hoping to become the first man to win both Darlington races in the same year. He won the Rebel 400 here in May. So we're just about ready to move out on the pace lap. 44 cars, 364 times around on a very hot day here in Darlington, South Carolina. So we'll have the pace lap, and we'll be back for the start of this exciting Southern 500 in just a moment. This is Bill Fleming, together with Roger Ward and Chris Economaki at the Southern 500. Roger's going to be down right near the start-finish line to bring us stories. And, Roger, let's check in with you now while they're coming around in this pace lap. How does it look down there?
Okay, Bill, we've had a couple of drops of rain, as you know. However, the sky is clearing, and it looks like we're in for a hot summer day here in Darlington.
Okay, as the cars move by now, we're just about ready for the green flag to fall for the start of this race, and here they come. And going up there on the outside is Paul Goldsmith, who crept right by the leaders, Leroy Yarborough and Richard Petty, and Goldsmith goes zooming down in front of Petty to take the early lead. Now, whether or not he jumped is a question only the stewards can answer, but it was a very fast start for Goldsmith. Petty in second place, and Leroy Yarborough in third. As they come around completing this first lap, it's Paul Goldsmith, Petty, and right behind him is Darrell Derringer now moving up on Leroy Yarborough. Yarborough still holding third place, and we noticed that as the cars come by, the caution flag has gone out on the backstretch, and now they're giving it to him on the front stretch here. So immediately, apparently wherever anything happened on the track, the yellow caution light was flashed, and the cars are slowing down. I think I see what it is. There's something here on the entry to the number one turn. It looks like a piece of metal. It looks like a drive shaft, as a matter of fact. And they're tossing it off. So some car out there lost something. and they have slowed them down. And we also notice as they come by that they have a black flag out indicating that it's for Goldsmith. Now, Roger, if you can give us any word down there, have you checked?
Yes, actually I have, and it seems as though the officials feel Goldsmith budged on the start and called him in for compensation. This will be very costly to Paul.
Okay, we've got the green flag again, and immediately Leroy Yarborough passes Richard Petty, and Yarborough, by virtue of Goldsmith being in there for compensation, has the lead. And here comes Derringer. Derringer takes Petty. So apparently Richard Petty is kind of taking it a little easy here in the early going because Leroy Yarborough and Darrell Derringer, and Derringer is going to try to get by him. Leroy go is the sign from the pit, and Leroy has the lead right now. What an exciting start to the Southern 500. And we notice the car is smoking here. This is car number 25, Doug Cooper, a 64 Ford. It looks like he's out for the day with a blown engine. But out on the track itself, a hot battle being waged between Leroy Yarborough and Darrell Derringer. Sam McQuagg is now running in third place, and Cale Yarborough is in fourth. We've been informed that Paul Goldsmith did indeed get ahead of the other cars on the start and has to take an extra lap. He can beeline an extra lap, but he is back out on the track. Qualifier in the Southern 500, Leroy Yarborough has taken the lead in his 66 Dodge Charger. Darrell Derringer, who's driving a 66 Mercury Comet, is in second place, and another Dodge Charger is in there for third right now. That's Sam McQuagg, the winner of the Firecracker 400. So it's quite a battle with these three cars bunched right in there, very close, passing a slower car on the inside there. And moving up, well, he couldn't quite get by. That's McQuagg trying to get by Derringer, and Leroy Yarborough holding him off. So as the cars spring out now, oh, there's the yellow flag, and apparently a car has blown an engine. It is car number 38, that's Wayne Smith, the 66 Chevy. Looks like he's out, and there's gasoline spewed out all over the track. And so now with that yellow caution flag, the leader's moving in. There's McQuagg 98, and we notice Richard Petty moving in too, behind Derringer. So everybody making a pit stop. Roger, you might make a comment from down there if you could hear us over the roar of those engines.
Well, yes, Bill, actually this could create something of a problem because it's a little bit early for their regular stop. However, the leaders have to take advantage of this yellow flag, so they're all in the pit. And as you can see, Leroy Yarborough is taking advantage of this pit stop to take a little oxygen. This can be very important to him because that fresh oxygen will clear his head. He's been breathing hot air with a lot of gas fumes in it.
Okay, and Derringer gets away. McQuagg got away just ahead of him, and Petty's ready to move too. Derringer cuts him right off at the pit exit. And so McQuagg, getting a good start out of there, is ahead of Derringer and Petty, and Kurt Turner has inherited the lead right now. But we have to remember that Turner has yet to make that pit stop. Apparently, the gasoline has evaporated very quickly from that ruptured fuel tank because they're ready for the green flag, and here we go. Racing under the green once again. And as they come roaring by, keep your eyes on the leaders. Kurt Turner being passed now by Sam McQuagg. So McQuagg takes Turner, Derringer running third, and Cale Yarborough is running fourth. So McQuagg, getting a good pit stop, is now ahead of Kurt Turner, who has yet to make his pit stop. Some of the slower cars moving down under the white line. Let's go down to the pit area now, and Chris.
One of the important factors in Major League stock car racing is always the tire wear. And here, from the Firestone Racing Division, is Humpy Wheeler. Humpy, what's it going to be like today?
Chris, it looks like about 5 right-side changes at a minimum for the drivers. And one very important factor here at Darlington is this track gets extremely oily in the late stages of the race. And there's new compounds in the tires this year which will enable the drivers to be much more racy that last 150 miles when they sprint toward the winner's circle.
We're going to see 5 right-side changes. Is this going to make for stops for more than fuel?
No, it won't, Chris. They'll add fuel every time. It could go as high as 10. They'll change right-side tires every time they stop because a new tire runs a little faster than an old tire.
All right, and now we're getting a pit stop for Kurt Turner. And Junior Johnson, who owns this car and who used to race under number 26, seems to be very happy with the way Kurt Turner is driving it today. notice that there is a dent on the left door and also on the left front fender. So apparently he's scraped somebody, but a good pit stop as he moves out quickly. And that pleases Junior Johnson, who I'm sure would like to be in that car right now. So the way it's shaping up is McQuagg, Derringer, and Cale Yarborough as they come down in that group of three. Three very hot cars and very hot drivers at this point. Derringer picked by many to win this race simply because they felt that he had one of the hotter cars. And now, as McQuagg keeps his lead, trying to get by is Cale Yarborough, and there goes Derringer ahead of McQuagg. So Derringer seizes the lead, and McQuagg slides in right behind him and cuts off Yarborough. Good jockeying there by the three leaders at this point in the Southern 500. I mentioned, too, that Richard Petty is still hanging back, kind of taking it easy, as the Fords are. And here is the car. This is Bobby Johns, apparently blowing an engine, and somebody just getting by him, going low, but the caution flag is now out, as Bobby Johns has some tough luck there, blowing the engine, and he'll be out of the race. We've had a lot of yellow flags here today. Raj, what's the reason for it?
Well, Bill, the primary cause of yellow flags so far have been blown engines. We've been very fortunate that there have been no serious accidents to this point.
Okay, Raj, fine. I understand Chris has something, too.
The Southern 500 today has had many slowdown periods brought on by things mechanical, not by crashes, but by items on the track, such as this connecting rod, a broken connecting rod, which exploded out of the crankcase of Wayne Smith's car, hot and sharp, and it could slash the tires of an oncoming car and trigger an accident. And so, while the crews clean up such things as broken connecting rods and car parts off the track, the action must slow. Now, back to you, Bill Fleming.
Okay, Chris, and the action has slowed here now with the yellow caution flag out. The cars are taking advantage of that to pit, make these pit stops very quickly. Here's Derringer in, Richard Petty is in, McQuagg's in. So we'll have to refigure now exactly who has the lead as we move along in the Southern 500 here in Darlington, South Carolina. Back in just a moment. We still have some 370 miles to go here in the Southern 500, and the green flag is out now, and the race is on for the lead. Richard Petty, who made a fine pit stop and who's been hanging back a little bit, has moved up to take over the lead, and Cale Yarborough, car number 21, is right behind him. So Petty in a 66 Plymouth and Yarborough in a 66 Ford are battling it out right now with Darrell Derringer right behind them. Those are the first three cars now as they come roaring down here in front of the fans. Quite a hot afternoon. A little rain earlier in the afternoon, but a hot sun, and it's very humid right now, and I'm sure that will start taking its toll. We've had a number of yellow caution flags up till now, and I'm sure many more to come. And look at, here we go. We're going to have a change in the lead. It's Cale Yarborough going by Richard Petty, and Derringer is running right behind them. Darlington, South Carolina, hot, humid afternoon. Darrell Derringer has the lead right now with Paul Goldsmith, who's done simply a marvelous job of driving after being penalized one full lap for jumping the gun at the start. He's moved into second place. McQuagg is now third, and Richard Petty is in fourth place. Those are the four cars right there, embraces them as they move down ahead of the slower cars on the track. There's no question about the fact that Goldsmith has been doing the outstanding driving here today. Those of you who were with us for the start of the race saw him fudge a little on the start. They called him in. He not only lost the calling in time, but he had to make an extra lap, and he is now, believe it or not, running in second place, and he's going fast, 36.1, which indeed is a very fast speed for this track, up around the 140 mark. And here he's trying to get by Derringer, and Richard Petty is by Derringer, so Goldsmith has the lead. Derringer falls back to third, and it is Goldsmith and Petty in that order. Earlier, Chris Economaki talked with Paul Goldsmith. Here's what he had to say.
What about the heat on the machine? What happens to a car on a hot racing day?
It makes the temperature come up a little bit on our oil, and also our tire temperature comes up considerable because the heat retains in the track because it's a black asphalt,
and it ups maybe 30, 40 degrees more on the track temperature, so it's a lot harder on the tires.
What kind of wear does it cheat you out of?
Oh, in 100 miles, probably 25.
And now here comes Dick Hutcherson into the pit area. Dick, with that low right front end, has a bad tire there in a 66 Ford. They're going to get it off very quickly, and boy, that's hot to handle, believe me. In fact, you can blister your hand very quickly. Look at that tire, just absolutely shredded. They do have an inner lining, by the way, on many of these tires, a safety lining that they can ride on, so we haven't had too many. Oh, look at this. Car number 71, Earl Balmer, was impaled up on the guardrail, and they just do get by him. Wow, he came within a couple of feet of going over. The yellow flag is out. There's debris and shrapnel all over the track down there. And Balmer climbs out through the window. He's okay. Boy, he came awfully close into going over that embankment. And you can see that long strip of the guardrail that's been torn right off, right near the press box area. Roger, could you see that from where you were down there? Roger, come on in. Roger Ward.
Well, Bill, now we have had a very serious accident, primarily due, of course, to an engine blowing, going into the first turn, another car getting into that oil, and, of course, bumping into that guardrail and tearing a great deal of that guardrail down. So we're going to be on the yellow flag for quite a while.
Okay, Roger, and our sheet metal experts will get their rivet guns out now and try to repair that 150 feet of fence that was torn down. And we'll be back with more of this Southern 500 from Darlington, South Carolina in just a moment. The track officials have now decided to take off that top half of the guardrail. They can't repair it in time, and it would be a long, costly delay. So they're going to just let the race go on. The flag is still out. And here's Earl Balmer's car. Now, we had a camera over in the press box, and here's what it looked like as he impaled himself and stripped off that guardrail for about 170 feet and came, as you could see, so very, very close. But look at Lorenzen just zigzagging around him. There is some great driving and some quick reactions by Freddie Lorenzen to get out of what could have been a lot of trouble. Now let's go down to Chris Economaki and Earl Balmer.
Earl, are you as shaken up as we are from watching?
I don't know what happened.
What do you think got you up there, Earl?
I really don't know.
The tire, maybe?
I wouldn't have the same static.
And, of course, once you got up there, there was nothing you could do, was there?
Yeah, well, there was a car right behind me, and I don't know whether I blowed a tire and he bumped me or what. I could have the least idea. All I know is that just snapped your finger, I was up in the fence.
What was it like up there?
Well, things happen so quick. It's kind of scary. It looked to me like I was going out of there and go up in a press box, and that really bugged me, but things happen so quick, you don't know what happened.
Were you shaken up in the ride? I see some blood stains on your coveralls here.
Yeah, I got a little glass in my face and busted my lip a little bit and cut my leg, but it never broke anything, so I guess it's all right.
You're feeling okay now?
Yeah.
You think you might go back in the race in another car?
If I could get in a good car, I'd love it.
Well, fine, we wish you well. Earl Balmer, after his spectacular fence-striding ride, wants to go back in the Southern 500. And now, back to you, Bill Fleming.
Okay, Chris, and the green flag is up. They'll be racing once again with Derringer, Petty, Pearson, and Goldsmith in that order at about the 300-mile mark. As they come down, we notice that Leroy Yarborough is actually the lead car in this group. But remember that Yarborough, according to our unofficial statistics anyway, is one lap, or almost one lap, behind Derringer. Should Derringer pass him, Yarborough would be one full lap behind the leader. And Roger, you might comment on that. That would be almost disastrous, wouldn't it?
Well, it certainly would, Bill. As a matter of fact, if he were to be lapped, he would lose almost any chance of winning the race.
I noticed Bud Moore there motioning for Yarborough to move over. Bud, of course, the owner and the chief mechanic of Derringer's car, would like very much for Darrell to get by him at this point. But Yarborough is still hanging on there, trying to keep from being lapped by Darrell Derringer. And again, Petty is in second place. Oh, here's Goldsmith weaving, and he brushed the wall. Paul Goldsmith, currently in fourth place, has touched the retaining wall, and the yellow caution flag is out once again. So that's going to hurt Paul Goldsmith. He may be out of the race. Can't tell how much damage has been done. The race is coming down to Richard Petty and Darrell Derringer, just the way it was when we left here a short time ago. Richard Petty, who held back earlier in the race, now has held on to the lead with Derringer right behind him and Cale Yarborough in car number 21 right behind them. So that is the group of three that has been going round and round here, setting the pace for the rest of these drivers. An afternoon that has really taken its toll on machinery and drivers. We've had many caution lights. A lot of cars are out with blown engines. And, of course, we've had an extreme case of tire wear here today because of that hot sun beating down on this asphalt. Uh-oh, here is a car in trouble. This is car number 4, Johnny Sears, and they go around him. Fortunately, nobody hit him. The leaders were right there at that point, and Sears spun out. It looks like he's going to continue. Roger, you were in a good position to see it. What happened?
Well, Bill, it appeared to me that Tiny Lund blew an engine, then car number 4 spun in that oil, and of course the leaders bearing down at a fantastic speed barely were able to miss the spinning automobile.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a long caution flag here. Quite a bit of oil out on the track, so the drivers holding their position. Darrell Derringer leading, Richard Petty in second place. Well, earlier we showed you scenes of the infield here, some 35,000 people strong, but we thought you'd get a kick out of seeing what happened last night prior to this race. It's always exciting the night before any race. Excitement taking many different forms. For some, setting up tents and camping out under a southern balmy sky. And for a cookout. A friendly card game, perhaps. But for most of the youngsters, it's kind of early to bed the night before a race because it's a big day tomorrow. For other youngsters, it's a go-go time. Well, that gives you a rough idea of why everybody looks forward to this time of year in the Southern 500. Now, back to racing as Darrell Derringer has the lead over Richard Petty. As they come down, the sign says go, and Petty goes right by Darrell Derringer to take the lead once again. It's been back and forth, seesawing here, and Davy Pearson in car number 6 is running in third place at the present time. But it's Richard Petty who won here in the Rebel 400, and here is a spin. Car number 26, that's Kurt Turner, slamming into the wall. Junior Johnson's car, driven by Kurt Turner, and it looks like he's going to be out for the afternoon. As the car was coming around, it got in sideways somehow or other, and slammed into that concrete retaining wall, mashing up the right side of the car. It can still move a little bit, but it's out of the race for today. Tough break for Kurt Turner, who 10 years ago won this Southern 500, one of the real veterans. Now here comes Darrell Derringer into the pits. Derringer currently running in second place. This will be the final pit stop for Darrell Derringer this afternoon. No oxygen right now, like Leroy Yarborough had a little earlier. Just a cool drink, and off he goes. Derringer currently running in second place, but Richard Petty is going to have to be coming in here very, very shortly because Petty had the lead on Derringer. It might open up the move for Derringer to go back to the lead. Here's Petty going by. A lot of tenseness now on the pit wall because we're coming down to the closing moments of this Southern 500, and whether the cars can hold together, that's the big question. Looks like Petty is getting ready. Here's his dad, Lee Petty, motioning him in, and Richard comes into the pits. Might get a quick word here from Roger Ward down there. Rog?
Yes, Bill, this, of course, is a very important pit stop. It has to be fast if Richard's going to retain his lead. They decided not to change that front tire, so it will be fast.
Okay, Roger, they're pushing the car out there. Have they got some mechanical problem?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he's got problems with his clutch. He can't shift the automobile. He's locked in high gear and won't be able to accelerate as fast as he should.
Okay, fine. Good report, Rog, and we'll watch him now. He's going very slowly. The question is whether he can get up to speed before Derringer passes him by. Now, Derringer is just coming around the front straightaway, but it looks like Richard is going to have enough to retain his lead. Yep, he's back running well, and so we'll be back with more of this exciting Southern 500. He seems to be holding his own now, despite the mechanical trouble in the car, not being able to shift gears. He's running smoothly, and as close as we can calculate, there it is, more accurately, we were going to say 8 seconds. It's 7 seconds his lead on Darrell Derringer at this point in the closing laps of this race, and Petty is moving very well. We've kind of lost track of Cale Yarborough. We might get a word from Roger about what happened to him.
Well, Bill, Cale Yarborough had to make an extra pit stop on that last yellow flag, and as a result, he lost a full lap, so he has moved back in the field.
Okay, that puts Derringer in second place and Davey Pearson in third place as they zoom around here, just hoping that these cars are going to hold together now for the remaining couple of laps in this Southern 500. It's been an exciting day of racing. Lead changing hands, and everybody's standing, and it looks like Petty's in trouble. It looks like a tire has blown on Petty's car. He slowed way down, and there goes Derringer by him. So Derringer has taken the lead, and Petty has slowed way down. In fact, I don't know whether he's going to come off or not. He may try to just limp on around. That tire has an inner lining to it, a sort of a second tire, a casing inside for the protection of the driver, and whether he can go on it for the remaining couple of laps is a question. But Derringer definitely has the lead, and what a break for Darrell Derringer, driving that 66 Mercury Comet. And a tough break for Richard Petty, who hoped to repeat his victory of the Rebel 400 here today. He'd be the first man to win both Darlington races, and a dejected crew in Richard Petty's pit. And there's his dad, Lee Petty, saying, come on in. Well, I don't think he's going to. He's picked up a little speed now and is going to just try to hang on to a well-built second place. Whether he can do it now is a matter of tension in this pit. And that tire change that he didn't make in order to save some time now looms very large in the strategy of this race. So Derringer has the lead. By the way, car number 4 out there is still running with Johnny Sears. You recall earlier, he had some trouble, spun out, but he is still in the race. There's the white flag for Darrell Derringer one more time around, and he'll have victory in his pocket. And now the checkered flag is out for Darrell Derringer as he flashes across the finish line. The winner of the Southern 500 is a jubilant pit crew led by car owner Bud Moore. And in second place, limping across the finish line, is Richard Petty. And Davey Pearson will be moving into third position. There he is right there, coming across, picking up valuable points to add to his leadership as the Grand National leader right now and hoping to win the championship this year. Here's Darrell Derringer moving down. He'll be moving into victory lane. Chris Economaki is down there. And let's go down now and try to get a word with the new champion.
Congratulations, Darrell. A heck of a win. How do you feel? Feel great, Chris. Boy, the boys did a wonderful job today, all of them. Have any trouble with the car? We noticed it looked a little skittish. It was a little loose, but there's a lot of oil on the track, and I think everybody's having the same problem. If Petty hadn't had trouble, do you think you could have caught him? No, I don't believe so, Chris. He's running real well. Well, it's your biggest win, and congratulations again. Thank you. Thank you. Darrell Derringer, winner of the Southern 500. And now, back to you, Bill Fleming.
Okay, Chris, thanks very much. Darrell Derringer, the winner. Richard Petty in second place. Davey Pearson in third. Marvin Panch finished fourth. Freddie Lorenzen in a Ford finished fifth. So we have a Comet, a Plymouth, a Dodge, a Plymouth, and a Ford in the first 5 here today. The executive producer of ABC's Wide World of Sports is Rune Arledge. Southern 500 stock car race produced by Dick Kirchner. Coverage of the Floyd Patterson-Henry Cooper heavyweight fight was produced by Jim Spence and directed by Marvin Schlenker. Associate Director, Ed Nadell. Assistant to the producer in Darlington was Fred Hutchinson. Remember, next week, Wide World of Sports presents the Pendleton Roundup Rodeo and the thrilling World's Invitational High Diving Championship from Las Vegas, Nevada.